Hey there, I'm Dr. Travis Perry. Today I'm going to be doing a balance growth reaction video. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, my very first one, but I really wanted to keep the high ground and be the example and show what balance is as a balance leader to others out there who are struggling to be a balance advisor, a balance achiever in your own business. Since I've been interviewing literally thousands of balanced achievers or those who are trying to strive for that, I've also noticed that balanced leaders inside their own company have a big say about the company culture and either the hypocrisy or the leadership that they emphasize and exemplify has a huge impact on their company culture, but so do business leaders in general. So I'm dedicating some of these videos to quick reaction of what business leaders are showing that is good balance and some that are showing not so good and everything in between. Today, our video has to do with Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. Now, Kevin in this video is really taking a lot of flack because he says, hey, I'm going to fire my mother if I have to. And I think there's a lot of people going back and forth on if I would fire my mom, if I wouldn't, the business success. But that's kind of beside the point. What I want to illustrate here today is that title. If you're a real entrepreneur, there is no balance. So here's the premise. You're not really an entrepreneur unless you throw balance out the window. My entire hypothesis of balanced growth is that you can have balance and you can have growth in the business. I don't know Kevin personally, and I'm not attacking his character, but we have different values, and you'll see throughout this video where I agree, where we disagree. But I absolutely believe that you can have balance and you can be an entrepreneur and be killing it in business. You just have to be productive. You have to have boundaries, all the things I've been talking about. So let's roll with this video and let me show you a little bit of what he's been saying about balance.
Here's the thing. If somebody says to you, it's balance, life is balance, it's just simply not true. If you're a real entrepreneur, there is no balance. You work on your business 24/7. You sacrifice everything. You do anything you possibly can, including firing your mother if you have to.
All right. So a couple things here. Mr. Wonderful would fire his mother, like I said. I know a lot of family businesses that just don't work, that started as mom and pop, and they had to establish boundaries, and sometimes it does not work. So I don't have a problem with that. My mom might be upset, but at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do to survive. But I don't think that's what Mr. Wonderful is talking about here. I think what he's saying is you have to be a workaholic. You have to work, in his own words, 24/7. That's the definition of a workaholic. Last time I checked, the workaholism is actually in the DSM-5 as a diagnosable addiction. Mr. Wonderful here is telling people, go ahead, be an addict while you're establishing a successful business. Again, I am not personally attacking Kevin O'Leary. I think he's a great business mind. He's done phenomenal things in his business and career. I don't know if he's married. I don't know if he has children. But this flies in the face of everything that I've been preaching as balanced man to help others to be great balanced leaders in their own firms and in the culture. In fact, most people struggle with workaholism because they don't think it's a thing. They don't even know it's an addiction because we just wear it as a badge of courage in our society. So leaders like Kevin and others who aren't necessarily balanced leaders, you really need to check yourself, and you really do need to be careful about what you're telling people to do because they're listening to you. And I believe a lot of ignorant people will follow this advice to the detriment of their health, to the detriment of their family, and to the detriment of the culture of balance inside their firms. Let's listen to some more.
To make that business survive, that's all that matters. Once you have success once, you have the personal freedom to pursue many other interests. But until you get it done the first time, nothing else matters.
Okay, So here, I don't disagree. I think you do need to figure out what is going to make the business work. I believe in the sweet spot. You find those 5 or 6 things that are really the most important thing that you should be doing every single day in your business, and just do those. Delegate, delete, automate, get everything else out of your life at work that doesn't make sense. Now, the problem with this is that a lot of times these productive workaholics, this is who I call them, if they're not careful, they'll be productive in every aspect of their life. Even when they're trying to relax, they cannot relax. They go to the beach and they're working on their laptop. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Separating, having time to be present, doing those things like relaxation or like working out. Everything is not business 24/7. As Mr. Wonderful has described, okay? What I will give Kevin, I will tell him, if I was to interview him personally, that no, balance is not this equilibrium between every aspect of life. It's living your highest priorities. And this next segment really shows Kevin's priorities in life. And, quite honestly, I have found that most business owners who are married and have a family, I know where their priorities are. This is where Kevin's are.
In the end, and I found this to be true, the only thing that matters in life is money.
You heard it from Mr. Wonderful. In the end, and I found this to be true, the only thing that matters, according to Mr. Wonderful, is money. Now, I've been across the country, and I don't know what he says or what he means by, and I found this to be true. For himself, fantastic. If that is your value, that's your value. I am not the Dave Ramsey of values. I'm not going to tell you what to value or where to put your priorities. Anyone that's ever been through my training knows that I have a system for helping you discover those values. I'm not here to give those to you or to say this is your value. But Kevin is doing that for us, essentially saying that money is the most important value and that it should be. I'm putting some words into his mouth, but that's what he's implying. And as he's saying this statement, he's basically saying his highest priority is money, period. Now, don't get me wrong, you should be productive at work, but you can have balance. What's really, really sad to me is meeting with people who have had a divorce not once, not twice, 3 times. And for them to tell us, if I just had better balance, if I knew how to make time for my spouse and my family, or they're overweight and they're addicted to substances, like, if I would have just figured out how to deal with stress naturally and cope with it, instead of building up all of these things that, following leaders like Mr. O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful here has to say, that there really isn't balance and you just have to kill it, that I would have been in a different spot. Now, when I've reposted some comments to this LinkedIn post, some will say, well, Travis, you're selling balance, so you have to be pro-balance. Of course, I am helping people do something that I believe is in their best interest. This is my business. This is what I do, and I believe in it, and I've been able to build a business 25 hours a week, taking 16 weeks off a year, and we've doubled and tripled even in years that most people are really struggling. Why? Because of balanced growth. You can still grow your business. You can still be killing it, but you don't have to sacrifice your balance. Mr. O'Leary, I do believe that we have something in common. We both like business. I do believe that we both have values, and I illustrate them clearly, and so did you. I'm not going to tell you that your values are wrong, but what I am going to say is that you can have balance. You can be a real entrepreneur, as he's quoting you, saying those you entrepreneurs out there that really care about balance. And I will say that the research that we've done with over 1,000 advisors one-on-one and hundreds in attendance at various speaking opportunities I've had throughout the country, when I ask people, tell me, what are your most important values? What are your most important priorities? Money is never number one. Never. What is? Family, God, health. You decide. This is my take on the Balance Growth Reaction Show with Dr. Travis Perry. Thanks for listening. Definitely follow us at maketimeinstitute.com. Check us out. Get the book, Achieving Balance, and the new book, Balanced Growth, which is forthcoming. We'll see you then.